Hey friends, it's me, Carrie. I know I pretty much look a hot mess right now, and I honestly could not give a damn about that. I'm really, really sleepy. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I really struggled with sleep last night, tossing and turning. It took me forever to get to sleep, and it was restless sleep. I had cold sweats in the night, just not a good night, and I got up to go to the bathroom a little bit ago, and as typically happens, if I get up to pee during the night, if it's still dark out, I can usually go back to sleep, but if it's light out, I usually can't. And I have a lot on my mind. I was coming on here to, talk about normal stuff. I was going to just shoot a normal video today, and let you know about some stuff that I've been up to. And I guess I can still tell you that I shot my first Instagram live last night, which was actually really fun, totally unexpected. I am selling some of my duplicate lip smackers. They're brand new, unused. You can check that out on my Instagram page if you like. There's pictures and stuff, yada yada yada. But the Instagram live was really fun. A lot of people showed up and said hi. Some friends, some new friends. It was really cool and a fun experience, and something I'll definitely do again. And a really good distraction from what kept me up last night and is plaguing me this morning, which is the fact that one of my dearest best friends for over 25 years is in the midst of having a tumor removed from her brain right now in a New York City hospital. And I'm not there because there's really nothing I could do anyway. And if I was there, I would just be freaking out there as opposed to here. I'm not going to name the person because that's her business to share with who she chooses in her own way. I'll just say her first initial is P. And I've known her over 25 years. She's one of my dearest best friends in the whole world. One of the few best friends that I actually see in person and know in person, not just a best friend from social media. Not that those are any less valued, but I don't have a whole lot of close friends that I actually spend time with offline and know in person, and she's one of the few, and I'm really, really, really nervous about this. The tumor, thank God, is not cancerous, so that's a really, really big plus. And from what she said, she anticipated the surgery was going to take about 8 hours. I believe it was set to begin at about 6:30 this morning, so she's about an hour and a half in, assuming they actually started on time, which if you've ever been to a hospital or, had your own surgery done or witnessed someone else having a procedure done, they're usually never on time. But that was the plan anyway, so I'm really, really nervous. I mean, I know she's strong as hell, and she's a fighter, and she's going to come out of this just fine, because there can't be any other outcome. I won't even allow myself to think that there could be any outcome that she could come out of this different in any way, shape, or form. She's going to come out of it, she's going to be perfectly fine, her usual brilliant, snarky, wonderful self. But I'm thinking about her, and it's going to be, I guess, a good distraction that I have to go to the shelter that the animal rescue I volunteer at. God, I can't even speak today. At 11 for my 3-hour shift that I do on every Wednesday. I guess it would have been okay to call out today, but again, what would I do sitting here worrying at home? At least if I'm at the shelter, I'm distracted for 3 hours, and I'm able to help the animals and spend time and cuddle with cats and, maybe some dogs. It's iffy with some of the dogs, because some of the dogs we have are ones with social issues, and, there are special trained people that deal with the dogs for the most part, unless, once in a while we get like a really, really super friendly dog, a little guy that doesn't have any, stresses really. But mostly I work with the cats, and it'll just be good, I guess, to go be with the cats and take care of them and nurture someone and play with them. And I'm very tactile. Like, if you met me in person, I'm a hugger. That's just my nature. Like, I can meet you for the first time, and I mean, obviously under appropriate circumstances, most people reach out and, to shake hands. I'll just be like, can I give you a hug? Because that's just how I am. So I'm very tactile, and I'll definitely be doing a lot of cat snuggling today. I don't know. I'm stressed about this damn YouTube business, and I shouldn't even be thinking about that. And today I'm not really But I guess if I feel like, sorry, my nose is running. I feel like if I think about that, then I won't be worrying about my friend for like 30 seconds, and that's probably okay still, I guess. I mean, the channel's growing, and I'm really, really happy about that. We're at 836 subs at last I checked, but that's still 164 subs that I have to get before February 20th, and I don't know. I want to believe that that's going to happen with all of my heart. But at this point, other than like busking in the streets, and I'm not a very good singer, and I don't play an instrument, and I don't think most people want wandering poetic minstrels walking around, you know, shouting or stating their poetic reasons for why they're pleading with you to subscribe their YouTube channel really are very successful. I don't know that there's ever been one, and I could probably do it, but I don't know. I don't know what more I can do to help the channel grow other than, you know, other small YouTubers, hope that they return the favor, and, you know, talk about it as much as I can on, you know, on Facebook and on Instagram and on Twitter and here on the channel, as I have been doing. I've had a lot of really wonderful friends, both old and new, trying to help me promote the channel and get me more subscribers, and that means the world to me. Like, legitimately, you have no idea how much that means. Sorry, sniffs. But yeah, it's just like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, thinking about my friend right now, it's like I can't really focus on that too much today. Maybe later, after the shelter, after I've been with the animals, this afternoon, when I hopefully hear from my friend's boyfriend, you know, that she's out of surgery and recovering well, you know, maybe then I can, you know, do something fluffy later or something. But so that's the thing about this channel. It's not fluff all the time. It's not serious all the time. It's life. It's a channel about my life, or lack thereof sometimes. It's a little bit of everything. It's a lot of fun things. It's a lot of silly things. It's, you know, eating food and buying toys and testing out lip balms and showing you my collections of random detritus. But it's also the truth, and sharing deep things, and sharing my struggles with depression and anxiety, sharing what's going on in my day, sharing the fact that right now I'm really damn scared for my friend, and I just need to know that she's going to be okay. So, hence the title of this video, if you're the praying type. I don't really talk about religion on this channel because I don't really consider myself a religious person. I was raised Protestant, Episcopalian to be specific. I was baptized as a baby. I was confirmed when I was 11 or 12. I was actually briefly an altar girl, which I thought was kind of, you know, cool and badass, because there were only a couple altar people, for lack of a better word, at my church, and none of them were really altar boys. It was myself and another girl named Brandy, who I've known forever, and another girl whose name I think might have been Lisa. She didn't come from my town, but she went to my church and was in, like, my Sunday school class and everything. I haven't thought about in a million years. I'm not even certain her name was Lisa. But we were the three altar girls, and there were no altar boys. So I kind of thought, oh, how avant-garde and kind of cool for, like, the 80s, you know? And I did that for a little bit of time. I still go to church once in a blue moon. I mean, obviously, if, you know, a family member gets married and has a church wedding and it's close by, you know, sometimes I'll go to that. The last time I went for Christmas, I want to say, was my very first midnight mass. I'd never gone to a midnight mass. My town is really small. My church is even smaller. I would say in the town I live in, probably, it might have changed a little bit since I was growing up. It's a little bit more ethnically and religiously diverse than it used to be. It used to be, like, I would say 95% Caucasian and 95% Catholic. Then there would be maybe like the 3% of us who were Protestant and like 2% Jewish, and really there weren't a lot of like East Indian people in my town, so I wouldn't say that there were really a lot of, or any possibly, Muslim people or, you know, people of any other religions. It's, like I said, a bit more diverse now, but I would say my town is still probably 90% Catholic, so being, you know, being Protestant, I'm definitely a minority, and which is a weird thing to think about for, you know, a Caucasian girl. But, to be a minority in any way, shape, or form. But my church is really, really tiny, and when I went for midnight mass, I don't know what possessed me. I just felt like going, and my mom and I told my mom I wanted to go, and she went with me, and it was really beautiful. You know, it was dark in the church and mostly lit by candles. There were probably, I want to say, maybe 22 to 25 people there in total, including like the priest and including my uncle, who has since passed away, who was very involved in the church and was an usher, and, you know, handed out the hymnals and the prayer books and everything. And I'm really glad that I did that, especially considering that he has now passed. I feel like he was my godfather as well. He was just an amazing, wonderful, wonderful soul. Just a kind-hearted gentleman and a gentleman in every sense of the word. I loved him very much. So I'm glad that we had that memory together. I'm sure he was as shocked as anyone to see my mom and I in church, because we hadn't been there in a really long time. But anyway, my point being, I'm not religious per se, but I am very spiritual. I definitely believe that there is a higher power. I definitely do pray. You know, who hears those prayers, if anyone or anything, I don't know. It brings me comfort to pray. I am not the type to pray for things for myself, really, but I guess in a way praying for the health of my friend is praying for myself, but it's praying primarily for my friend. But if you are the praying type, and even if you're not, and that's totally cool, this is a judgment-free zone, as long as you're not anti-Semitic or judging other people for their perspective. You know, don't judge anybody for their race, their religious beliefs or lack thereof, their, you know, their sexual orientation. I love all people until they give me a reason not to love them, and I'm talking like a specific person. I never judge groups based on any stereotypes or whatever else. But if you're a praying person, if you're not, if you just, I would appreciate prayers for P. And I know that sounds funny, prayers for P, and she would be laughing harder than anybody else at that. But I would appreciate prayers for her. I would appreciate good karma sent her way, good vibes, positive energy, whatever it is that you do believe in, because I love her a lot. She's an amazing person. She's someone that I admire greatly. She's someone that I respect. She's someone that makes me laugh like no other. She's always, always, always made me feel like I was valued and important. And I guess this doesn't give anything away, because you guys don't really know, you know, a lot about my past history or whatever, but we met when I was in college. She was my college professor, actually, first freshman year, and then as often as possible after that, because I went out of my way to take her classes, because I loved her as a human being. She's obviously a brilliant professor. She's so just super, super smart. Like, I like to think that I'm pretty intelligent, but she's like super smart. And the irony that she's having, you know, surgery near her brain is just not lost upon me, because she's brainy smurf. She's just, I don't know, she's just terrific. And we met when she was my college professor, and I remember it was so ridiculous. I was an English major. She was an English professor. She now teaches English as well as film study classes, which, oh, I wish she had taught back then, because I would have taken all of those too. Those would have been like all my electives. They didn't even offer them when I went to school. But the last class I got to take with her, because they limited the number of English-related classes you could take, which was so stupid. Once you took enough to complete your major with all the prerequisites, you really weren't allowed to take a lot of extra, like, not extracurricular, but extra elective English classes, which is so stupid, because that was my passion. I mean, obviously I got all my other electives out of the way, math and science, which, ugh, that was a disaster. I ended up becoming a psychology minor simply because I expressed I took the class and I developed an interest in it, and I ended up taking so many psych electives that I said, well, screw it, I might as well make it a minor, you know. But by my junior year, I was done. I literally could not take any more English classes, which was ridiculous and drove me crazy. And again, she wasn't teaching film study classes at that time, so it was my junior year that I got to take my last class that P taught, and I remember feeling so badass because at the end of the semester, it must have been my first semester of junior year, because at the end of the semester, before winter break, she invited some of her students to her house for her Christmas party, and not all. And I was one of the ones she invited, and I, for the first time in my life, didn't feel like the total social outcast loser that nobody liked. I felt like the cool kid, and it was so amazing. I still remember this party like it happened yesterday. I remember walking in, and at the time she was dating one of her PAs, because she was just so badass, and still is. And the two of them were, I guess the term is cooking, mulling wine on the stove, and there was all kinds of delicious snacks everywhere, and we ended up playing a board game. I can't remember what it was. It was like a charades-y type game, but it had like actual cards and a board and stuff. And I still to this day remember that I had to indicate to my partner or whatever the name of the movie Far and Away, and I just kept going, like, gesturing this way for far, and I think they eventually got it, and then I just kept doing this again to try to get away, because how do you act out either far or away? Like, I think eventually I like ran across the room to demonstrate like near and far, but away, like, how do you act out the word away? I still remember this, and this was back in, oh my gosh, I was a junior, so I would have been 20 years old or 21. No, I would have been 20, I think. I don't remember. Did I turn 21 junior year? No, I turned 21. Yeah, I turned 21 junior. I was 21. So we're talking, I'm 44 now, so 23 years ago. Wow. Mind blown. I'm so old. But, I mean, I still clearly remember this party and how much fun we all had. Excuse me, sneeze coming. Oh, okay. But anyway, and that was the first time I really realized that P saw me as not just a student, but also as a friend, and that's when our friendship began. And we lost touch after I graduated, and it wasn't until the advent of Facebook that we reconnected, because at the time, I was living in Florida, and she was still here on Long Island, so that would have been probably 2005, so it was probably a good 10 years that we, you know, were out of touch. And no, yeah, probably 2005 or 6 would have been when I got on Facebook, and I graduated in 95, so yeah, about 10 or 11 years until we reconnected. But once we did, it was on like gangbusters. We were just, we became so close and so tight, and we still are, and she's just an amazing human being. Gosh, I'm sorry, it's gross, I'm sniffling. But anyway, so yeah, the main gist of this video was to just tell you a little bit about my friend and tell you what I'm dealing with today, because that's a big part of what this channel is about, just sharing with each other, sharing our struggles. You know, you guys can always post in the comments. Sorry, obviously I have a cold now, but you can post in the comments about anything that's going on in your life. You can always, of course, reach out to me on my other social media. Links are in the drop box. I'm on Facebook. I have a PerseveringStar Facebook page. I do have a personal Facebook page as well, and as I get to know people from the channel, I do share that with people, but not... Sorry, crap. Not off the bat, because it, you know, I am from a small town, and I don't need everyone in the world to know where I live until I get close with them. But I do have a PerseveringStar Facebook page where you can always chat with me. Either, you know, post a comment on my wall or message me privately. Instagram and Twitter, same deal. You can always send me a private message on Instagram. Actually, Twitter you can, unless we're following each other, I don't think. But you can always, you know, if you follow me on Twitter and say, hey, Carrie, can I talk to you about something? I will follow you back and we can talk. As you know, I want to help people. I want to be there for you guys beyond just this channel. That's why this whole demonetization thing is just really so irritating. You know, it's not about the money. I mean, it is about the money, but it's mostly not. It's about feeling like my channel's becoming devalued, becoming you know, that, I mean, YouTube is clearly already stating your channel's not important. Any of you that have less than 1,000 subscribers, we really don't give a crap about you. But I do. I give a crap about all of us. And I want us to stick around. I don't want any of us to leave feeling discouraged and feeling like we are devalued, like our opinions and our perspectives are suddenly no longer important, because they are. And for people like me, it's taken a really long time to feel like my perspective even was important, either offline or on YouTube or in the rest of my life. Most of my life, I've just felt like I was a worthless, you know, dog turd at the bottom of somebody's shoe. And it's taken a really long time and a lot of hard work to get to a place where, no, you know, I think what I have to say does matter. I think what all of us has to say matters. I mean, sure, there's, you know, there's going to be crappy spam channels on here, and theoretically that's what YouTube is trying to get rid of, but no, that's not really what they're trying to do. They're trying to get rid of all of us, and I don't think that we should let them do that. I don't think that the people that make them millions are the only ones that deserve to have a voice. So that's why this whole, you know, nonsense, this debacle is so irritating and upsetting and hurtful to me. Because the last thing I need, and the last thing I know a lot of you guys need, is to suddenly feel like any progress we've made in developing self-esteem or self-worth is suddenly, you know, we're being, you know, chopped off at the knees and knocked back down. Like, well, I don't know why you got so uppity thinking you mattered, because you actually don't. Sorry, guys. I should have made some tea. But I don't want any of you guys to feel devalued, because you're very important to me. And as long as we remain important to each other, and we lift each other up, and we subscribe to each other's channels, and we promote each other's channels, and we help each other out, and we share our struggles, whether they're with mental illness like mine, or whatever your particular struggles are, I think that we can really, as hokey and hippy-dippy as it sounds, we can really change the world with love and kindness, and we just have to put in the effort. And that's what I'm trying to do with this video. I'm sharing just another piece of myself, of what I'm going through, of the emotional state I'm in right now. I'm just really afraid for my friend, and I just need for her to be okay, because she's a rock in my life and the life of so many other people. She's just such a pure soul. She's snarky as all hell, and she's hilarious, and she's flawed just like we all are. But she's got a huge heart and an incredible mind, and just, she's creative beyond. She's just an amazing, amazing human being. I wish you all could know her. Maybe in time I'll tell you her name, because she actually has written a book that is a terrific book that I'd love to highly recommend, but that's not for today. But, anyway, I know I keep saying but, anyway, because I'm just nervous and I don't know what the hell else to say. I don't know. I'm just going to end this now, I guess. But again, if you are a praying type person, and you could just put a prayer up for P in New York City, it would mean the world to me. Send good vibes, send positive energy, send whatever it is that you believe in to a person who really, really damn deserves it, and like me, would never ask for it for herself. She is amazing, and I love her, and I just need for her to make a full and complete recovery and not lose 1 ounce of that, you know, that spitfire, snarky, wonderful humor and cleverness and warmth and just everything that makes her who she is. I want her to come out of this healthy and whole and exactly who she was before she went in, because she's just an irreplaceable person, as we all are. So anyway, thank you so much for listening, you guys. It really means a lot. It sounds awful to say, but please click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it now more than ever. It matters, it matters, it matters. Like and share my links on social media to help me try to grow this channel. It really makes a difference. And know that I love and care about each and every one of you, because I truly do. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll be back soon with more stuff. Bye.